Good morning. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's 5:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I just got a couple fairly quick comments about today's news, the stuff that's on the news this morning. A few observations and comments. First, news of Ahmoud Arbery's death and that situation in Georgia got to the White House, and the president, Donald Trump, felt the need to say something. What he said was that he hasn't got all the information yet, and he's pretty much waiting for any comments, or he's not going to speak up on this. That's interesting because lack of information has never stopped Donald Trump before. I still remember the very fine people, the Tiki Torch March. The lack of any information has never stopped Donald Trump before. He will put out his opinion and his thoughts right out there with little, if no, information on the subject. We know that. But, geez, all of a sudden, he's a little slow. He's a little cautious. Gotta hear all sides of the story on this one. This is what bothered me, though. He said that he was sending thoughts and condolences to the family of this young man. He said it just like that. He paused, and he said, "This young man." But that to me, that's saying he doesn't even remember Ahmoud Arbery's name. Some people might say, well, maybe he couldn't pronounce it, but that's never stopped Donald Trump before either. He's spit out names that were 10 times harder, or that he knew less. Never stopped him before. It's funny. He did not say Ahmoud Arbery's name once, which I find bothersome. That he sent thoughts and condolences. I don't think he even said prayers, just thoughts and condolences to the family of this young man. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but that's the way I read it. And you know what? If you're going to remember somebody like this, somebody that just lost their life, that was murdered, at least say their name. Have the respect to at least honor them by saying their name. Yeah, that pissed me off. All right, on to the second thing. Tara Reide. I did a video on this before, and as you guys know, I will not vote for Donald Trump. I will more than likely vote for Joe Biden. I won't get into all that right now, but I also did a video saying, you know what, I think from looking over the line of events, the way her brother talked, Tara Reide's brother talked about this, that I believe her story sounded believable to me. Even though Joe Biden is my candidate, it sounds believable. This morning, though, something bothered me. She did an interview last night, Thursday night or Wednesday night. Don't know exactly which channel. Sorry about that. And I watched her talk, and she said what bothered her the most was the way that Joe Biden looked her in the eye and said, "You mean nothing to me." That's interesting. I need to know more about the context of that conversation. When exactly that conversation happened? Was it during the sexual assault that, or was it after? Did she speak up about the sexual assault? And when was that said? I need to know that. This is what bothered me. Again, I bring up the fact that I in my past experience as a drug addict, I've gotten the feeling when people were being a little less than truthful. And what bothered me was she was making the sounds of crying when she was saying this, that she's lived her whole life with remembering these words as she was whimpering. I don't want to imitate her. I don't want to disrespect her and try to imitate it right here, right now. She was making the sounds of crying and whimpering. But I'm going to be honest, guys. I got a pretty high-resolution TV. I didn't see any tears. And I hate to be the guy that says something like that. I do. But I saw a dry face while she was making these sounds of crying. And like I said, I don't like to be the guy that says stuff like this. Like I said, I believed her story, but that bothers me. That what I saw of her in the interview bothered me. Something rang. I'm not going to say rang untrue, but something did not jive. Her emotions, the way her supposed emotions, the way she was showing her emotions, and the actual physical, it didn't match. I'm not saying anything I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just saying that interview bothered me. I got second thoughts. I don't even know if I want to go that far in saying that I have second thoughts about her believability. I don't want to be that guy that says that rails on Trump for years about him grabbing crotch and all the allegations against him, and then turn around and dismiss the same thing against my candidate. I do not want to be that guy. But there was something that bothered me about her most recent interview. Whenever I see somebody making those sounds, like I said, I'm trying to be respectful and not imitate her right now. But she was making the whimpering, crying face, the sounds of being upset and tearing up, but I didn't see any tears. And that's whenever I see that bothers me. It's just usually, in my experience, my tears will come first, and then the sounds, it'll break loose. That's my personal experience. So something bothers me about that. Again, it could just be her nervousness, her being scared that she's not being believed. Maybe she acted differently because of that. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but it's a red flag to me. All right, back to my workout. You guys have a great Friday.